I'm the interim coordinator for the Women's Resource Center.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tabby Laboon Pursuit. I'm the coordinator for the Asian and Pacific Islander Student Center. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rigza Norbu Win, and I work here in the International Center as an advisor. And thank you all for coming.
Once upon a time, the former Reentry and Women's Resource Center and the International Center collaborated on a program for International Women's Day, bringing international students together on a panel to discuss issues women faced in their respective countries. I'm happy, with the help of Tavri from the Asian Pacific Islander Student Center and Rigson from the International Center, to bring it back to you today. But this year, in an effort to acknowledge women from the United States, as part of the international community, we've included a woman from the United States to share her experiences as well.
All right, everyone. So I will be moderating our panelists today. So if I can please have you all introduce yourself, your name, your major, your country, and what year you are here at Cal Poly Pomona.
Hello, y'all. My name is Pashay Bryant. I am an apparel merchandising and management major, option business, and I am representing America, the United States of America, and I am a junior.
Hi, everyone. My name is Aisha Merchant, and I'm doing my master's in business. I'll be graduating this quarter. I'm sorry, next quarter. Sorry. Yeah, and I'm representing India. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yelizaveta Pamytkina. I'm a third-year biology major, and I'm an international student from Ukraine.
All right, so my first question for you all, what are the roles and expectations for women in regards to education, career, family from your respective home countries?
All right, so when it comes to education, something that I've realized is that we want our women to be educated. However, we do hold them within a box. We want them to be educated, but maybe not too educated. We want you to be educated, but stay within the social sciences and the language, the human resources, the management. Because something that we've noticed is that when it comes to women's careers, there's 57% of women have bachelors, 60% have masters, over 50% have doctorates. However, when it comes to the workforce, we are 46%, but within the CEO position, we're only 26%. And not only that, but a CEO for a Fortune 500 company, it's only 4% of women who are within those positions. Or even to be on the executive board, it is only 14% of women who hold an executive officer position. So we do want our women to be educated, we do, and there are opportunities, as I'm blessed to be here. However, we do have some restraints. And when it comes to family, something that I've noticed, and many women that I've spoken to have noticed, is that family is first. We really it's as if women have to have a family. And there is judgment for women who decide not to have a family. If you don't want kids, if your main goal in life is not to have a family or a husband or kids, there is some judgment that comes to that. And thankfully, there are public individuals that we identify with, such as Jennifer Aniston and Amal Clooney, who are saying that they do not want kids, and that's something that they choose, and it doesn't make them less of a woman. That's how I would respond.
Okay, so the expectations for a woman. The first Prime Minister of India, that was Jawaharlal Nehru, he said that the condition of a nation can be said by looking at the status of its women. So the status of the woman will show that how advanced the country is. But as far as my country is concerned, even though the Constitution has made education free, primary education free for all girls and boys until the age of 14, the education for women is not really considered important. The literacy rate for women in my country is 54% as compared to that of men, it's 76%. Because women in India, they are always considered as subordinate. They are always considered inferior to men. It's the man who has to carry the name of the family. It's the man who has all the powers. He will always dominate a woman. It's a man who will take the name forward, the name of the family forward, and woman is just the caretaker. So education-wise, even though we have free education, we have to grab it. Like, we have the opportunities, but we are not encouraged to get the education. And career, so same thing goes with the career as well. And family, even though women, they contribute to so many of the things, but they are not actually, like, women are not actually highlighted, even though they help the men in the family. Just because the women are so supportive, men can go and they can achieve the things which, like, men can become successful just because women help them out. But then they are not given that title. So that's the thing in my country.
So I will also start with education. Education is also free in Ukraine. It is extremely important for both women and men. So as far as I know, about 87% of women who graduate from high school enroll into universities, which is a high rate. Yes, and also usually women are expected to have at least bachelor's degree. But of course they're underrepresented in STEM majors like over here because it's such a male-dominated scope. When it comes to career, we made a step towards Western world, and women are actually expected to work full-time as men as well. But the thing is that if women and men occupy the same position, what happens is that usually women get about 25 to 30% less, which is a huge percentage. And also when it comes to family, what happens is that women, they are expected to get married by the time they graduate from their universities. So it's like 22, 23 years old, they're expected to have families because it's an obligation. And also they're expected to have a child by the age of 25. Yes, and also they're the ones who take care of their households, who take care of children, also 100%. Yeah, so this is what happens in Ukraine.
Okay. So we will have a Q&A right after all of my questions, so please hang on to all of the questions you're currently thinking about. So moving on to question 2, can you name a woman in a leadership role who inspires you? Someone in your home country who's making a social impact, and why they inspire you?
I absolutely can. I was talking to this with my my colleagues as well as my boss. So my inspiration, the woman who inspires me, is May Carol Jemison. And for those who don't know who she is the first African-American woman to go to space. Now, that by itself is impressive. She's breaking the molds of what she can and cannot do as not only a woman, but as an African-American woman. And I am, just for y'all to know, an African-American woman who is from the United States. But she went to Stanford when she was 16 years old, studying chemical engineering. She became a doctor when she went to Cornell University. So not only is she the first a woman to go to space, she's also a doctor, and she studied dance at Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, which, for y'all to know, that's an amazing, amazing dance theater. And I love dance, so she inspires me in that way. And on top of that, she was a part of the Peace Corps, and she was posted in Sierra Leone. The reason she inspires me is not because she breaks the molds that she's been placed in, but she doesn't stop with just one thing. She's not only going to be a chemical engineer, because that by itself is mind-blowing. She's going to be a doctor. She's going to be a woman who travels. She's going to participate in the Peace Corps. And for all those reasons, it reminds me that I don't have to be just one thing. If I want to be an entrepreneur, I can do that. If I want to be a lawyer, I can do that. If I want to be a mother, I can do that. Just because I've been placed in my own box because of society, it doesn't mean I have to stay in it. And May Carol Jemison reminds me of that. So she is my hero.
Okay, as far as women in politics, I look up to 3 women in politics. The first woman was, she was the most influential woman in India. And she was, I hope everyone knows about Mahatma Gandhi, right? So her name is Indira Gandhi, and she has no relation with Mahatma Gandhi. She just shares the same last name. But actually she was the daughter of first Prime Minister of India. And she was the first woman, the most influential woman in India. And looking up to her came forward all the other women. And so the second woman was, she was Sonia Gandhi. And she was born in Italy, but then she was married to Rajiv Gandhi. And she has been the president of the Indian National Congress. And she has been in this position since a really, really long time. And the last woman which I look up to in politics is Leta Patel. She was the first female president of Republic of India. Now, apart from all these women, I have 2 other women which I really look up and respect to. And I'm grateful that I'm getting this opportunity to discuss about them here on campus, because even those women were a part of Cal Poly Pomona. The first woman is my sister. She graduated from Cal Poly Pomona, and then she got, she worked as a professor for the engineering department. Yeah, and it's because of her that I got a chance to pursue my master's degree, and I got a chance to fly all over from the other side of the globe to USA. And the second woman which I look up to is, her name is Leta Patel. I hope you know about her. Yeah, she works in the mechanical engineering department. And she has always been, she goes out of her way to help people. And it's not just because I'm from her country, but I've seen her helping all the other women. Like, she really encourages and she motivates you. I think right now, I'm in this position right now because of my sister and because of Leta Patel.
So for me, the woman whom I'm admiring the most, her name is Nadia Savchenko. She's a Ukrainian politician and one of those women who represent women in the Ukrainian government, and they are really underrepresented. And also she is first female army aviation pilot. And what happened in June of 2014, she was accused by Russia of falsely killing Russian journalists. And as maybe you know, there are some tensions between Ukraine and Russia happening right now. So she is imprisoned in Russia, and the whole society supports her. And right now she became sort of a symbol of conflict between Ukraine and Russia. And she's the only one who is socially active. She's advocate for human rights, for democracy, and for law. So that's why I admire her.
My third question, what are some current movements in your home country that's going on right now that you could speak about?
That I speak about?
Yeah, that social movements that you can mention to the audience.
Oh, yes. All right, so United States is large, and we have a lot of movements. Some of them, as you may know, Free the Nipple is one of them. We do have the discussion of pro-life, pro-choice, as well as pro-birth. Chimes for Change is an organization that was created by Gucci, believe it or not, and it's to educate women around the world. Chimes for Change is all about education as well as the health of women around the world. What we have going on is we have a tampon tax happening as well as a pink tax. And just for y'all to know, the tampon tax was saying that tampons are considered a luxury good. I don't know about you all women, but I would not consider having to buy that a luxury good. I would like my bag to be a luxury good. As well as the pink tax, which is saying that female products are often paid more just because they're targeted towards women. So a deodorant that's exactly the same for a male besides a woman, it's you have to pay more just for the pinkness of it. I don't know what they're going to do to it, but there's something that's making it more so. And I know that there are a lot of movements, especially within our country, getting women into STEM fields. Because as my colleague, but as my partner is saying, you know, STEM is very highly underrepresented when it comes to women. And so I know that there's this huge movement trying to get women to know that you absolutely can major in this. You can major in construction, you can major into engineering, any kind, aerospace, chemical, mechanical. And so education as well as what I just listed.
Follow-up question.
Sorry.
Are some of these movements successful from what you've observed?
Absolutely. The number one, first of all, just at the school, Cal Poly Pomona, engineering is an impacted major throughout every single option. And women have been each year increasing their numbers within those fields. However, there are two major successes that has been happening recently that I would like to discuss. The first is family leave benefits. Now, just for y'all to know, as I said, States is very large, and there are places within the United States where women and men absolutely have zero family leave rights. That means when they go on family leave for a newborn child, they do not get the pay, and that can be very difficult on families who make it day by day. However, California first was already the first state to guarantee its workers paid leave when they're having a new child or taking care of an elderly. But just recently, a new bill was signed by Governor Brown that would assist lower income workers by extending when it comes to the pay. So you're going to have the percentage actually. So for on average, 55% of your salary is that keeps going during the 6 weeks. However, with this new bill, those who are earning minimum wage will have 70% of their pay maintained throughout that paid leave. And for those who make around $180 or $108,000, they'll have 60% of that of their wage that's going to continue even when they're on wage. The second is birth control within California is now prescription free. And there's a lot of controversy over this, and I know that Obama actually tried to do something when it comes to Plan B, but this is very important because it's allowing women more choices about what they want to do with their bodies. And so this has been a successful movement, and there are already states following California's lead, if they have not already. So I would say between the family leave benefits and birth control within California, those are the two definitely that have been successful.
Same question.
Yes.
Okay, so current movements. Today's India, it offers a lot of opportunities to women with women having a voice in everyday life. But still, nevertheless, India is still a male-dominated country, and still women are considered subordinate and inferior to men. And that's the reason why they have come up with a movement that's called Sartak movement. This movement is fighting for this gender bias. So, however, India is still, even though India is moving away from the male-dominated culture, still the discrimination is visible in the rural and urban areas. Now, everyone knows that education is considered as the most important tool for empowering women in society. And it's limited to developing personality in individuals, but it also plays an important role in economic, social, and cultural life. And that's the reason why they have come up with another movement that's called Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. That's in Hindi. The meaning of that is education for everyone. That it's promoting education for all girls and below the age of 14 years. Now, I hope you are aware of some of the discrimination that are going on against women, like, for example, dowry. Are you people aware of dowry, where the woman who gets married, she has to take things from her parents and give it to the male. Now, initially this was a very, very serious issue. But now, even if those who are not carrying on these traditions, like even in the people from modern India who are not carrying on these traditions, they are still going into it. Like, they are still going into dowry because it's considered as a social ladder. Like, okay, when the girl comes to our family, we'll get this and we'll get that. And the ladder which measures this is a boy's education. Whereas women's education is considered just, okay, so if a woman's educated, then she will educate the children, she'll take care of the family. But if a man is educated, then the man will get more of the dowry. Yeah, so the Sarthak movement and the education for everyone, these kind of movements, they are coming forward to it. But as far as the success around these social movement is considered, I don't think that they're successful. Yeah, it's still the same. Yeah, sadly, unfortunately.
So it's a bit quite opposite when it comes to Ukraine. So I did some research on social movements and I wasn't able to find anything. But since I moved from Ukraine 4 years ago, so I decided to contact some of my high school friends who go to universities, and I thought that maybe they participate in some organizations or clubs, and they said that no, we don't have any social movements. So I started thinking why this might be the reason, and I think I found an answer to this. As you know, 2 years ago, Russia invaded Ukraine, and Ukraine experienced this huge economical collapse. Just a fun fact, minimum wage 2 years ago was $3 in Ukraine, and right now it's $1. And prices for gas, food, for utilities are the same as over here in the United States. Yeah, so it is a huge difference, and people are actually focused on surviving in that country. So I guess, yeah, their focus is just shifted to surviving. And also the whole country is fundraising money for Ukrainian military to fight with Russian troops. And also I think there's a second reason. I believe that women, they just don't feel oppressed in Ukraine because their position is so deeply rooted in our mentality and mindset, and it feels like normal. When I was in Ukraine, I felt normal. I didn't think that my rights were suppressed. But just after coming to this country, I realized, okay, there is something wrong in my country. So we don't have any social movements, yeah.
And then my final question. For those of you studying in the U.S., what cultural differences do you see in regards to women in the U.S. versus your own home country?
Okay, as compared to the women in my country, when I first came here the women, they have the freedom. In my country, even though you have all the privileges, I don't think we have the freedom. Actually, I am from Bombay, and Bombay is quite different from Delhi. Delhi is the capital of India. But even though it's the capital of India, now the crime rates are on such a high that it's considered as a capital of crime rate. Delhi is called the capital of crime rate, where women cannot walk out safely all alone by herself after 8 p.m. at night. Even if she's traveling in a cab, she's not considered safe. Yeah, so as compared to my country, I think women here, they have the freedom. And also, work-wise, because I've been working on campus since past 1.5 years, and I've seen that women are considered, they are looked up on. If you are working, you are respected for your hard work. Whereas in my country, if a woman walks out of her house for work and to pursue her career, she's looked down upon. Like, oh my God, she's not staying at home, she's not taking care of the family, she's walking out to work. No, this is not her job. So that's a difference. So until now, even though I have all my degrees, I am a lawyer in my country, but I never really got a chance to practice. I just have the degree. Whereas when I came here, I was respected for the degrees which I have. And in India, it's like, oh, you studied so much? Why? Why don't you get married and settle down? Why do you have to study so much? So this is like we are looked down upon. Even if you are working hard to get a degree, it's not easy. But then still we are looked down upon. Whereas here, I think women have so many rights. They have the privileges. I mean, despite of being so educated, I never drove. I never really got a chance to drive in my country. Whereas when I came here, I have the freedom. I can drive. Yeah, when I speak to other people from other friends, they are like, oh, we started driving at 16. I was like, wow. So here, when I came here, I realized that I was so much dependent on my family for each and everything. For grocery shopping, for everything. Whereas here, women are so independent. You don't have to be dependent on your family for such small, minute things. Yeah, so yeah, I can breathe now that, yeah, I'm free.
Yes, I sort of have this similar experience, especially when it comes to academics. So educational system in Ukraine is a bit different than the one you have over here, and usually we choose our majors in high schools. So my major was math and physics, and I definitely felt gender discrimination from professors. I thought I didn't receive proper attention from them. But when I came here, I started majoring in biology, and it felt I was right. There was no any gender discrimination, and my opinion was valued by professors, and I got attention. It feels good, actually. Yes, and also I feel that over here women are just more protected in general. For example, with domestic abuse, there are some government institutions, some social institutions that can protect them. And for instance, also Planned Parenthood. I know not everyone supports it, but it gives women a chance to decide what they want to do with their own bodies. And also, when it comes to dating world, for example, that's an interesting question. So I feel over here that in couples, men and women, they equally contribute, and women are actually valued. Their opinions are also valued. So I think this is really important.
I would like to add one more thing with that. As far as dating is concerned, in my country, you always have to go in for arranged marriages. I don't know the actual percentage, but I would like to say that arranged marriages will constitute for 70% of the marriages, and love marriages will be just 30%. So everything has to be arranged. Like your family, your parents will select a boy, and then you just have to, you'll get a chance to meet the boy, of course, 15 minutes, and then you have to decide. Yeah, whereas your things are different. Yeah, you get a chance to date, you get a chance to know that person. Things are completely different out here. Yeah.
Pasha, would you like to add anything?
I'm good.
You're good. All right, now I would like to thank you first and foremost, all of you, for speaking from your experience. That was wonderful. Now I would just like to open this floor up for any questions that they've shared that you would like to ask our panelists, so I can hand you the mic.
Yes, I wanted to ask our panelists from, let's see, Aisha, you're from India, and I'm sorry, I didn't, Lisa from Ukraine. So you've been here a few years now, and you've seen the difference between this country and your country. Do you have intentions of going back to your country? And if so, how will you start to make small changes in the things that you think that you have learned here that could be implemented in your country for the betterment of women?
Okay, that's a nice question. As far as going back, see, after enjoying the freedom, no one wants to go back. But then, since I was born and raised in that culture, like being so dependent and so overprotective. Now, when I've been in this country since past 1.5 years. I came here in 2014. So initially, when I came, it was a struggle. Like Kelly and Riggs, and they were the ones who helped me out. When I came here, because I was so dependent on my family, driving and then grocery shopping and then doing everything by yourself, license and everything, it was very difficult for me. It was like, why do I have to struggle when I get everything for free, in my country? Why do I have to struggle for it? But then slowly we realized that it makes you strong, it makes you more powerful, and it makes you independent. So as far as going back, I don't want to go back. But then if I have to go back, then I'll try to encourage the women out there. Because women, they are in a box. They don't know, because they get everything what they want in the house. Okay, you get food, you get this, and then trust me, like I don't think women, especially in my culture, in my family, women don't go out and work. Women have to stay at home. And up till now, I used to think, oh wow, that's a comfortable life. I have to stay at home, I don't have to go out in the sun. I don't have to work. I can stay home, and I get everything what I want. I just have to ask for it. Like I don't come from a very rich family, but then all my needs were fulfilled by my parents. Because that was a limit which I asked for. Now, after coming here, I know that I can ask for something more. I can get something more out of it. I don't just have to travel in cabs, and you don't just have to sit beside my brother when he drives. I can drive myself, Yeah. So.
I think I totally agree with Aisha. After experiencing this freedom over here, I don't feel like going back. Yes, and I definitely developed personally and professionally, academically, and I just feel that going back to Ukraine would be sort of step backwards. Yes, but if I had a chance, that I would definitely just try to encourage women to speak up, to be out of their boxes, to experience something different, because that the thing that's happening in other countries, it's not right. Women have to be equal. They have to have freedom. Yeah.
Any other questions? To our candidate
Test. For our candidate from the Ukraine, you said that your country they're currently financing a war to go to Russia, right?
It's sort of they're more financing for protection from Russian invasion, Russian military, because the whole eastern part of Ukraine is occupied by Russian troops.
Oh, okay.
So yes, so there are even some sort of taxes right now. Yeah, so people are fundraising to help Ukrainian army.
Okay. And are you for that? Do you think it's necessary or?
Well, I think it's necessary because if our army is not fundraised, then we would totally lose this sort of war with Russia, and Ukraine would just become a part of Russia, as it was a part of Soviet Union. I think that's Russian's president's intention right now.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so I think everyone is so patriotic right now in Ukraine. Yes, so I think it's really important.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, thank you all so much for sharing so much. So I have a question in regards to like LGBT. So I know in America we're kind of really pushing for gender equality, that kind of thing, identifying within that community. In your countries, do you see that being something that you're allowed to do, or is that something that's still really kind of hindered for women?
It is really hidden. Ukrainians, sadly, are extremely homophobic society. And yes, everyone just tries to hide it because if it's exposed, then a person experiences really negative consequences. Yes.
Same goes in my country as well. Because, okay, so it all affects the way you are brought up, So when I first came here and when I saw people it's not about the LGBT, it's also about like girls dressing up like boys. Like even if a girl is a girl, but she likes to dress up like a boy, she has those, she cuts off her tresses, she has the boy cut. And then for me, initially when I came, that's what I call was a cultural shock. Because in India, okay, I never dressed up like this when I was in my country, like pants and shirts. No, I had that long thing, and then I always had to carry that scarf. So for me, looking at a girl dressing up like a boy, I was like, oh my God. I mean, and men dressing up like, men liking perfumes and men, it was like a shock for me. But because I was brought up in that kind of atmosphere. So in India, it's still looked down upon, you can never ever come up with your feelings. You can't. If you're a boy, you have to behave like a boy. If you're a girl, you have to behave like a girl. You can't go. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello. Can y'all hear me? Yeah? Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you. I have to leave soon. But I just want to say thank you. I'm proud of all of you for just being who you are. For the two international students, what kind of ambitions do you have for your future? Because something that I've noticed just off of my own observation is that people who come from different countries who are a little bit more oppressed in certain ways, when they come here and they have ambition, they tend to do really well. And I think it's because it's like you've had so much less, and you come here, you see all the opportunity, you take it. And that contrasts with us who are born here. We complain about all the freedoms that we have, and we don't really realize what we have. So I'm just curious about where do y'all see yourself, and where you going? Because I can see the magnificence. I can see it. You have a master's, and you came over here and just did really well. So I just want to know, what do y'all have planned? Where do you want to go in your future?
As far as plans are concerned, it all depends, because, okay, just for example, like the career fair that came up last week, there were so many American students and there were so many international students. And at the end of the fair, I met up with all my international friends and I asked them, any luck? And they were like, I think all these opportunities are for them, not for us, So like we have to really, really struggle. I think, and I'm jealous because you people are getting it way too easily, and then we really have to. We have to struggle, like even in my class, because since I'm a business major, we have presentations, and as far as I remember in my country, I never ever had to give any presentations. Like I just had to study, memorize, and then write it down, secluded. Like I didn't like to face a crowd. It was only after I did my law degree, I actually got a chance to face a crowd, but I still don't see myself presenting, and whereas Americans, like they don't even prepare. Last night I called my friend, I was like, are you done with the PowerPoint? And he said, oh, morning, I'll do it in the morning. And the way they present is like, oh my God, they have been preparing and working over it since past 2 weeks. Whereas I was preparing since past 2 weeks, and when I came in front of the class, I was like, oh, I forgot. So see, I mean, you people are really very lucky. So seeing myself, planning myself, I have so many plans. I want to do something, because to get here was not an easy task. Like I had to prepare 2 years in advance to apply to Cal Poly. And like you have so many other universities as well, UCLA, and so it all depends on your luck as well as your hard work, your dedication. If I am really, really dedicated, and if I really, really work hard and convince the employers, I'll get a H1, and I'll see myself somewhere high. And if not, then we have to go back. Yeah, that's the option. We have to go back.
I don't even know what to add, because you described my situation so perfectly. Yes, it is actually a struggle to compete with local students. It is a struggle for me too. And in the future, I hope I'll be able to go to med school. And I wish I could stay here, but who knows? If I won't be able to find a job, then I will also have to go back to Ukraine. And of course, it will be an awesome experience as well, but still, we've achieved so much over here, and it just feels like right to stay here, and yes, we just don't want to go back. Yeah.
I also want to emphasize that our students come on the F1 visa, which is strictly for students to study, and then once they graduate, they have 12 months of work authorization. However, if you have a STEM degree, then you can get additional time to stay in the United States to pursue a job. But like they said, it is competition out there, and they're limited with this time as well. Any other questions?
What do your parents say about you coming here, or what do they say now? Are they like living in India, and are they living in UK?
So both of my parents live in Ukraine, and they have different opinions. Well, my father, he supports me. He said, go for it, get your degree. But my mother, she sort of wants me to go back to Ukraine and stay there and like form a family and give birth to children. So they're sort of really divided. Yes.
So as far as my parents are concerned, they were here. I mean, they have the green card, so they can come and they can go. They came here when I was here. They stayed here for 2 months, and then they went back because they saw everything, and they were in a cultural shock. Because as compared to my country, kids, like I see it in class. Like when the professor talks to you, the students, they just sit and they talk, they're very casual. But in my country, even when I was in a law college, like that high, we have to stand up. We have to give respect to the professor. So when the professor addresses you, you have to stand up. Like, yeah, you respect the professor, and you never ever call the professor by his name. But here I have seen the difference. So that's what my parents saw, and they went back. And as soon as they reached there, they're like, you have to come back. You don't have to get your degree. You can get your degree here. You don't have to stay there. So they both are really, really like waiting for me to get back. They don't want me to complete my degree because they know I'll change.
Any other questions? Last minute questions?
This is for our American student. I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Pache.
Pache. I just wanted to know what advice you probably have for the American girls, like the younger generation. You mentioned like this box that we're always placing in. I feel that box too. So I guess what would you say to them to make sure that they don't necessarily feel that box or know what to do with it?
You know what I would do? I wouldn't tell them that there isn't a box. I would want them to know that they do have restrictions within this country and what they are. Because something that I've realized with my own life is that you have to know your limitations for you to exceed them. And so the first thing I would say is, this is the situation that you're in right now. However, you can change that. And whatever you want to do, because currently what I'm working on is an entrepreneurship conference for Cal Poly Pomona. I really want to bring it, and actually, it's probably going to happen November 30th, hint, hint. But that's something that I personally am a proponent of, is women within entrepreneurship. We have so many ideas. We really do. My mother has so many ideas, and she's constantly saying them. However, she doesn't receive the support or the acknowledgement of her ideas when it comes to improving society. So when it comes to those little girls, I would say, 1, understand what your limitations are so you can beat them. 2, be your own entrepreneurship in whatever field you want to be in. And then 3, find a support system. Since we are, again, 4% of CEOs are Fortune 500 companies, that means if you want to get funding from a female, because there's more likely that you'll be able to, extend yourself that way through, bringing each other up, you only have 4% of the women that you can go to. But if we start creating that support system now, and we start building each other up from the ground up, and then pulling up as we go, we're going to be paving the way for women. So, but you have to do it. You got to break out of that mold.
Hi, thank you for the wonderful discussions. I'm originally from mainland China, so I'm Chinese American. So talking about education, so we're encouraging the women, the young generation to go for higher education. In mainland China, there is, I have my colleagues here too. It's very interesting that if you have a PhD, you're a woman, it's considered a third category. You are not men, you are not women. It's like a women with PhD, it's a special category. So, interesting, right? Yeah, I have my colleagues here too. So here we have a dilemma here. So we are encouraged, we are here for higher education, right? So can you imagine the 2 international students here? Can you imagine yourself going back to your home country with a PhD and a very successful? So what would be your future life like?
What would be my future life like? That's actually a good question. I would feel that it would be sort of step backwards for me, and I would, I don't know, I think I would have to go to university again and get a Ukrainian degree, because I believe we don't accept American degrees. So that's probably what would happen.
Oh, you don't? Okay, as far as PhD is concerned, okay, even if I'm getting my master's, see that the way that people look at it, the society, they're thinking what change. So even if I work hard and I get my PhD, things will be the same. Like, oh, she's educated, why? Why does she have to be so educated? So education, I don't think it's considered as something positive for a girl out there. Yeah. So the hard work won't add to it. Yeah. Sadly.
On? Yes. Okay. Hi again. So I know our international students, you've mentioned how it's great here. We are very privileged and to be women in this country. So I think a question for all 3 of you is, how have you seen America encourage women, and if for yourselves also, and how can we do better to kind of bridge the gap between Americans and international women so that we're kind of building each other up continuously? Does that make sense? Do I need to
Can you say that again? Like, how can you bridge the gap between the American women and the international?
Yeah,
women?
so you've seen that. You feel like you've been supported by the women here.
Yes.
So in what ways have you felt that? And then also, how can we keep doing that in our country to encourage women to keep moving in their countries?
Definitely. Okay, so My first job on campus was at the was at the Career Center. I worked as a student ambassador there. And my boss was a lady. Her name is Lorraine Rigoli. And Sherry Peters, oh my God. They really, really helped me out. They knew that we are international students, and I think, as many of you know, that since we are not that privileged, we have to strive more harder to get to that position which you are already placed at. They encouraged us, like international students, to take full use of the resources that are available on campus, And we are not aware of so many things out here, like the songs, the food, we are like, oh, I think I'm from a different, I didn't know about anything. So this is the way they encouraged us, like to make full use of the resources on campus as well as off campus. And that was the motivation for us. So I think to make the bridge stronger, you should communicate. You should make the opposite person realize that, oh, even though you speak a different, you have an accent. Yeah, we get that. But it's not something wrong. You're brought up there. You're born and brought up there. So the thing is, you should not, you should motivate the person. That's it. And that will make the bridge stronger.
Something that I would say that everyone should be doing is, and especially Americans actually, is not seeing the United States as something outside of the international community. We are as much a part of this world and a part of the earth as the Ukraine as well as India. I know that when I was talking to individuals and I was telling them I'm going to be on a panel for international women, they would ask me, where are you from? And I said, I'm born in America. And then but the way that they looked at me was in confusion. And to be honest, I had the same exact look when my boss invited me to join the panel. I was confused. What, me? But I'm from America. And then I mentally saw the globe. And I saw that we are not at the center. We are not higher up. We are a part of this world, as part of this nation, as part of this communal society. And I would say to Americans that, especially women, that the women from India, the women from Ukraine, and from all other nations, they are our sisters. And if we want to empower ourselves, we have to empower them. Because in the end of the day, we're going to be helping each other. We may not see it now, we may not experience it because we are geographically separated. However, we will notice the difference when our children are becoming CEOs, when our grandchildren are becoming scientists, and now there isn't just one African American astronomist or astronaut, but there are thousands.
I think it is really important to provide women with information, as you mentioned, and with resources, and encourage actually them. I remember when I came here, first of all, I experienced such a huge culture shock, and also I couldn't understand Americans, this huge gap between us, this mindset and mentalities, and everything was so confusing. But I was so supported by other people. They realized my struggles, they knew what problems and what challenges I had, and they really helped me out. And even right now, my boss, Kelly, yeah, she's also a woman. She supports me a lot. So I think providing information and supporting women is really important.
Okay, so maybe. Okay, my question for all three of you: can you tell us maybe an incident or something that was significant to you where someone from another culture reached out to you? It may be, and don't use anyone here in this office, no, but just maybe you helped somebody out or somebody took the initiative to ask you a question or provide information. And the reason I ask this is often there is this gap between U.S. students and international students. And you can put them in the same room, but maybe the international will be on one side and the U.S. on the other side. So what I'm looking for is just some incident or something that sticks in your mind where someone from another culture made an effort in your direction.
Well, there are so many of such incidents. Like right from the time I came here, 2014, up till now, I think each and every day I come across such incidents. And especially, I can't exclude you both. Yeah, International Center, it's like, it's a part of my family. I can't, like, and there are so many other cultural centers like Asian Pacific Islander, like, even though I don't belong, I think, because I'm an Indian and these are, but then I see myself as a family. Because when we fly all the way from the other side of the globe to this side, we feel like we should, initially I thought that I don't fit in here, because I was brought up completely differently, and like, so, like, taking this step towards independence, I was questioning myself, oh, is this right? Aisha, do you really want to be that independent? Women shouldn't be independent. It's something bad. Women should be in the box. So are you doing it right? Because my parents too, they didn't want me to take this step. So it's very difficult. But then each and every day you come across such angels, and that's true. I would like to mention the name of one of my friends who I met at the International Center. She's from Sri Lanka. She's not from my country. But then, and she's so much younger to me. Her name is Subi. She became my best friend on the very first day when I came here at the International Center, and she encouraged me. She helped me out to reach out, to take the step, to take the initiative, to take advantage of all the different resources. And there were so many such individuals, like, I think half of them are present out here. Yeah, so many of them. And all these incidents are stuck in my head. I can't forget them, because these were the steps which I took. They helped me to take the steps towards where I am right now.
I would say that also, I think every day I have some incidents that teach me something. But I would say that probably one of the classes that I took, it's called EWS 407, is... It's called Diverse Sexual and Gender Identities. It was just an eye-opening experience for me, and it made me realize what role women have in this world. It taught me about different sexual and gender identities in this country. It was just like shocking experience for me. I never ever experienced anything like this back in my country. So I think this class helped me to adapt more to this society, to understand.
For me, I would say that first of all, I love cultures. I absolutely do. My boss is trying to make me study abroad. She's like flying papers at me with information every time I see her, and I appreciate it. But it's when I'm welcomed into another person's family or maybe an event. So that's happened just this year. I went to my roommate. I have two. One is from Sri Lanka, and the other is from India. And my roommate, Miriam, who's from India, her sister was having a sweet 16. Now that is something that's adapted to the American culture. However, it still was very traditional. And so I was allowed to wear some of the traditional garments, which was amazing. I was allowed to experience the music and the food, and they welcomed me knowing that I was not from their family or from any relation to them. However, I felt completely welcome. Another is when I participated in a Barkada event. Barkada is a group on campus who are Filipino-based. And it was an event where it was food involved and music, and they welcomed me despite me being very much different. I looked different than them, I talked different than them. However, there was no difference. And so I'm hoping that when international students come over to my country, that I show them the same amount of openness and welcomeness as I received from the other students. And that's how I felt when I was embraced.
All right. So one more question, or everyone's good? All right. So did you want to say anything? Okay. So I just want to thank you all for coming out today to this platform. I'm really happy that we were able to do this and invite you all to this event. Thank you to Tavri, Anita, to all of our students who sat through this and shared your perspective. I think we all learned a lot, and I know sometimes we feel that we need to travel to another country to experience culture, but truthfully, we all have different cultures. And I think it's just a matter of communicating to each other and getting to know the person in a deeper level. And I hope we all can take some time to do that. But thank you all for coming, and I hope you did learn. And we do have a lot of food available, so please stick around and enjoy the reception as well.